Camera's rolling and action. Hi creatives, I'm Jasper, and I know I haven't uploaded a full-length video in a while. That's because we are currently planning for the next episode of our Docu Series, Creative Side, and we will begin shooting it very soon. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell button so you will be notified when the episode is live. So let's get started on today's topic, which is my gear on documentary filmmaking. And I just want to say that the gear that I'm using is not the standard when making films. It just happens that it is what I have. You could buy a different model or brand. This video is just to give you an idea on what kind of gear that you will need. So let's start it with the most asked question that I get from someone, which is, what camera do you use? I'm using the Canon M50. It's a great all-around camera, and I'm sure you can get a great deal if you check it out online. And what I love about this camera is the flip screen. For me, this feature is very important when I'm doing or shooting some low angle shots, and it helps me be creative on any angle that I want. I just pop that flip screen out and press record. Flip screen makes everything easy for me, so I highly recommend getting a camera that has one. As a matter of fact, I'm using it right now so I can see myself and the composition while recording, and that's my camera. Next up is batteries. Some of you might think that this is not important, but trust me, when it comes to making documentary, you will need extra batteries because you will need the camera rolling as much as possible. As for me, I have 4 extra batteries and 1 battery that I'm using right now. So while on the go or while shooting outside, I wouldn't miss any moment. Then you will need some SD card. This is the SD card that I'm using. This is the 64 gig SanDisk Extreme Pro. I'm using this because this is what I can afford. There are other SD cards that you can use depending on your camera. Maybe there is a CF card, and I'm not sure with others, but for me, this is the one that works. You can get a higher capacity up to 128 or 256 gig. It's up to you, but for me, what I can only afford is the 64 gigs. If your budget fits in a higher capacity SD card, then go buy one. So yeah, SD cards, it's very important. Then while we're talking about storage, let's move to hard drives. It is important to back up your footages. We have to be careful, so we always have to back up our footages and copy it in a hard drive. What I'm using right now is the My Passport hard drive, and because this is the one that I can afford. I have 3 of them and 2 of these are already full, so I'm currently using the orange one. So if you want one, you can check it up online, and sometimes they give a great deal with this kind of hard drives. But if you have the budget, I highly recommend you going with the u.a.e rugged hard drive, because that is the one that others are using, and it has great reviews. But for me, this is the only one that I can afford, so I'm using the WD My Passport. And for emergency, I have this SanDisk flash drive. And what I love about this flash drive is that on the other side, it is a normal USB, but when you slide it up on the other side of it, it is a USB-C, so I can transfer the files on any computer using this kind of port. And for my laptop, it only accepts the USB-C port, and this is for just emergencies that I need to copy some footages and I didn't bring my hard drive with me. So I have this. This is a 64 gig capacity, so it's pretty high. I just want to repeat it, always back up your footage. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. This is a variable ND filter from the brand Tiffen. What I love about this filter is that when I'm shooting video, it blocks light. Especially here in Dubai, the sunlight is very harsh. So you will need a variable ND filter to block some excess light that is going into your sensor. So basically, it's like a sunglass or a Ray-Ban for your camera. So your footages won't be overexposed even on bright daylight. If you have a budget, go buy an ND filter. Especially if you're making video, you will need one of this. Then, let's talk about my gimbal of choice, which is the Ronin SC. I really love this gimbal. This is my favorite purchase of 2019. And I enjoyed playing with it. It makes everything so smooth. And I've been using this gimbal ever since I bought it, and I really love this product. And this gimbal helped me get those dope stable shots that I couldn't normally do. You can get so creative with this. But during an interview, you won't be using a gimbal. You will need something stable. And that is where a tripod comes in. I highly recommend investing in tripods. But since I already have a tripod, I haven't bought one yet. I'm just using the free tripod that I got with my camera. But if you don't have a tripod yet, I highly recommend getting one. You will need one of these when making a documentary, especially during interview scene, as you will need something stable because not every time you will use a gimbal. So you need a tripod. Since we are on the topic of interviews, one thing is very important when making a documentary. This is something that I would personally love to learn more about, and that is audio. So now, let's talk about microphones. Well, I have two microphones. The first one that I will be showing is the Rode VideoMicro. This is a shotgun mic. You can plug it in your camera. So this is great for run and gun shooting. So you can get clean audio while you're shooting outside. And the other mic that I have is what I'm currently using right now. This is the Boya by M1, which is what I'm currently using right now to record my voice. You can just clip it on your shirt and plug it on your phone and start recording. That is everything that I use when shooting a documentary. Now, let's talk about the editing part. My personal choice is the MACBOOK Pro. That is what I'm used to editing with. But I don't recommend this to everyone because it's too expensive. And you can get a better deal if you're gonna use a Windows or just build a PC. And the software that I'm using is Adobe Premiere Pro. So basically, that is everything that I use when I'm shooting and editing the Creative Side documentary series. I just want to say that all of this gear are just tools. It's still up to you on how you will make it into a story. If you want tips on how to make a great story, you can watch my previous video on how I wrote the documentary episode 1 and my writing process, because story is very important. So if you don't have all the gear on this video, just shoot it with your phone. And be sure to make stories that people will want to watch and you will enjoy too. Making a documentary is hard, but once it's out there, it's all worth it. And I learned a lot on this process. And that's it. So hit like if you made it until the end of this video and comment down below what gear are you using when you're making a documentary or any videos. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button to get notified whenever I post another video. And also visit my Facebook page, Creative Side. So as always, see you on the next vlog.